So here we have it, guys. Here we have it once more. It's Pride Month, and that of course means that gaming journals just have to try to spin it somehow to convince you that certain games are not inclusive enough, are not woke enough, and their characters are too straight, basically. This is what's happening with Sora in this very amazing, delightful article, which just absolutely goes crazy down the rabbit hole, which is the following. Sora doesn't understand love in Kingdom Hearts, and it might be because of the compulsory heterosexuality. That's right, you heard it right. The problem, ladies and gentlemen, the problem we have in Kingdom Hearts is the fact that the developers of Kingdom Hearts did not introduce different types of sexualities in the game, a game made for kids, because Sora is actually a kid, and I think in Kingdom Hearts 3 he's like 14 or 15 or something. So yeah, and now they're annoyed that Sora doesn't show any queer kind of attraction to other characters and other stuff, and they say it's because of the straight people. The straight people, they're the problem. Incredible. This is, ladies and gentlemen, journalism in the 21st century. This is gaming journalism in the 21st century. How far have we fallen? My god. Right, Sora never really mentions or comments on love either, that is, until Kingdom Hearts 3. In the Pirates of the Caribbean world, Davy Jones see Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann, and moments later says, "Ah, love, a dreadful bond, and yet so easily severed." Sora jumps in and responds, "That's not true. I may still have a lot to learn about love, but I know that it means to share my heart with others." At this point in the series, Sora has met a lot of Disney couples, Belle and the Beast, Ariel and Eric, Aladdin and Jasmine, the list goes on. And yet for some reason Sora still has a lot to learn about love. Going by the most common fan interpretation of the series, he should at the very least have a fully fledged crush on Kairi by this point. So why are we now bringing up the fact that Sora doesn't know a lot about love? So Sora is age 15 in Kingdom Hearts 3. So of course he's not going to be an expert on all things love and romance, but in any fiction, everything is written with purpose. You don't have a main character exclaim they still have a lot to learn about love without that serving some sort of narrative purpose. False. The problem is that in many Japanese games, and of course because you don't know about this stuff because you're ignorant of the fact that of the Asian culture, in many Japanese games they keep these things like almost like behind the scenes, like almost like on a secondary non-existent plane because of how society is built, and because of effectively in many games talking about romance in Japanese video games is not something common. That's why, okay? But of course this person doesn't know, so what can you expect? Sora's confusion about love is continued in a short story in the Kingdom Hearts Character Files book, where he has an internal monologue after having watched Belle and the Beast dance. Yeah, okay. It says here, I was able to fight. If the power to believe is also love, then maybe the power of love is similar to the power of connection between hearts. I still don't really get it though. Thinking back, saying Belle and Beast and etc., asked himself what the heck is true love? Anyway, what even is love to begin with? Belle and the Beast are pretty much the epitome of a fairy tale romance. They're a man and a woman. They're in love with each other. What else is there to get here? That's what a heteronormative society wants everyone to think, but that's not always the case. So now they're basically saying that Sora is actually secretly queer and he doesn't know what does love mean because he is not straight. Like they're trying to spin it somehow that Sora is not straight. Now let me give you something very clear. Do you remember in Final Fantasy VII, Cloud and Tifa, right? Now these two characters effectively in the entire of the game series, they never showed any specific clear romance apart from the last one, Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, Resurrection, or I don't remember what was the name of it. They have Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. In that one, they finally, if you go on the dates with her, effectively shows a short cutscene where they actually engage in romance. So that was only just recently as of now. In the remake, in the original game, it did not have anything about that. And why? Again, because it's a Japanese game and they keep these things again on a second side. Right, so yeah, that's it, guys. I mean, it's just crazy. Like Sora's behavior. Look at this one. When Carrie presents the purple fruit to him, Sora physically recoils, and Carrie has to explain that she wants to share it so they won't be separated in the final battle before Sora relaxes and finally accepts. After all this build-up, something that Sora perceives as romantic is finally happening between him and Carrie, and all he can do is look visibly uncomfortable. Sora was fine daydreaming about telling Carrie he was able to fly in Kingdom Hearts 1 and imagining dancing with her in Kingdom Hearts 2, but when it comes to actually spending time with her, it's a completely different story. Again, it's because of the awkwardness that they do in the Japanese games, because for some reason, that's how they do it in Japanese games. Look at Cloud and Tifa in the video games, they do exactly the same thing, like these moments of awkwardness, of not knowing exactly what to do. It's just because that's the culture there in Japan. That's literally the reason why they're doing that on the characters, because they're Japanese character, right? He has all the pieces for a heterosexual romance right in front of him, but something still isn't clicking in place, perhaps because he doesn't have any examples of what love could look like other than Disney's cookie-cutter heterosexuality. Oh my god, man. I mean, this is such a cringe read. This is, of course, Pride Month 2025, of course, yeah. So, guys, incredible. I mean, this is just incredible. So, again, this person here doesn't understand that in Japanese video games, right? In Japanese video games, it's normal to have this sort of thing, because it's happening in so many video games. Romantic relationships in Japanese games are very, very, very secondary. They're like not even there, and they provide this moment of like comic relief at some times, not really properly serious. But that's across the whole industry in Japanese video games. That's the problem. It's not because Sora has some sort of like issues with his identity or gender. No, no, no. They're trying to convince you that it's because Sora is gender confused, that he doesn't know what he wants. That's what they're trying to they're trying to spin to you, that Sora is gender confused. That's it. I mean, this is really the goal of this article. This article is trying to tell you, right? They're trying to build some sort of story here, some sort of like fantasy or whatever, to tell you that Sora is gender confused. I mean, I just cannot believe, guys, this is journalism in 2025. And then, you know, these journals get surprised when they get sacked, when they get late, when they said that effectively, I'm very sorry, but you cannot work with us anymore because people do not read your articles and people find you a joke, because this is a joke. This should not be an article in a video game website about video games. This is a politically indented article. This is an article which has a political angle. It's pretty obvious that's the case, right? And it's trying to spin it somehow to convince you that Sora is gender confused, whereas it's actually not the case whatsoever. The reason why this is all happening, like I said before at the start of the video, is because in Japanese video games, the awkwardness in these romantic encounters is standard. And like I said before, just look at other games. You don't have to go even far, Final Fantasy, and you see it all over the place. You see the main characters having these awkward interactions, not knowing how to behave. It's happening constantly. So guys, that's it for today's video. Again, I am super shocked that we are seeing this level of quality in 2025 in gaming journals. And with no doubt, the age of AI will literally destroy them all, because literally nobody is going to want to pay these people to write these horrendous articles when you can get an AI to write you an article without all this jibber jabber of political nonsense and trying to convince people that your character is queer because they believe so, because of the awkward interaction they saw in a cutscene. So guys, that's it for today's video. As always, I shall see you later in the next ones.